Have you ever stood in a quiet room and felt the silence speaking to you, telling you that something has changed? It's not a loud announcement. It's a whisper, a subtle shift in the air that only you can feel. It's the breath you take before heading down the stairs, just a little more carefully than before. It's the stubborn lid on a jar that seems to hold on a little tighter these days. It's the quiet weight of the car keys resting on the counter, a silent reminder of a freedom that once felt as natural as breathing. These are the moments, the small, unspoken confessions that we make only to ourselves. They are the beginning of a conversation that society rarely prepares us for. The deeply personal, often lonely conversation about losing independence. It's a phrase that sounds heavy. It sounds like an ending. And for many, it brings a quiet fear. A fear of feeling like a burden to the ones we love most. A fear of navigating the days and nights while aging alone. A fear of losing the very essence of who we've always been. But what if I told you that this isn't the whole story? What if this journey, this profound shift, is not just about what is being lost? What if it's also about what can be found? What no one tells you is that within this change lies an opportunity, an invitation to discover a different kind of strength, a quieter, deeper resilience you never knew you possessed. It is the chance to uncover the timeless elderly wisdom that has been cultivated over a lifetime and now is ready to bloom. This is not about surrender. It is about redefining victory. Welcome to timeless elderly wisdom. Today, we are not going to look away from the difficult questions. Instead, we will walk this path together and find the light in the shadows. Let's begin. Before we talk about solutions, before we talk about plans, we must first do something much more difficult. We must give ourselves permission to feel. Because with this profound change comes a quiet, personal grief. It's a mourning for the person we used to be, the one who could do it all without a second thought. And we must be allowed to miss that person. We must be allowed to feel that loss. The first thing they don't tell you is that the loss of dignity in old age rarely happens all at once. It often begins with the smallest, most intimate moments, the secret struggles that no one else sees. It's the moment you have to ask for help with a button on your favorite shirt, or when you can't quite read the menu in a dimly lit restaurant, so you just order what someone else is having. It's when a familiar name dances on the tip of your tongue, but refuses to be spoken, or when you find yourself a few steps behind in a fast-moving conversation, smiling and nodding, feeling like a spectator in your own life. Each of these moments, however small, can feel like a small surrender. A private chipping away at the strong, capable person you have always known yourself to be. The person who once did everything for themselves and for others. And with each tiny surrender, a heavier feeling can begin to set in. A feeling that grows in the quiet hours of the night. The quiet, nagging, persistent fear of feeling like a burden. This fear has a voice, and it whispers the cruelest things. It tells you not to ask for that ride to the doctor's office. It says they're busy. Don't bother them. It tells you not to mention that the television volume is too low. It says, don't be difficult. It's not that important. You see your children or your loved ones navigating their own busy lives, their own stresses and struggles. And the voice of this fear tells you that your needs are an inconvenience, an interruption, a weight they shouldn't have to carry. So you stay quiet. You say, I'm fine, when your heart knows that you are not. You minimize your needs. You shrink your world, because the thought of being a burden feels infinitely worse than the struggle itself. This is one of the loneliest feelings in the world, and it can lead to another profound and silent challenge, the reality of aging alone. I don't just mean being physically alone in a house, the echoes in empty rooms. I mean an aloneness of the soul. It is the isolation you feel when you believe that no one else could possibly understand the complex, warring emotions inside you. The deep gratitude you feel for the help you receive, tangled up with a sharp, bitter resentment for needing it in the first place. How can you explain this to someone? This internal conflict, this private war between pride and necessity. This is the true, unspoken heart of the journey. It is the grief that we must first acknowledge before we can ever hope to heal. After the grief has been acknowledged, then comes the next chapter, the one where the private whispers must become open conversations. Conversations about the future. Conversations about home. The word itself is powerful, isn't it? Home is not just wood and brick. It's the faded pencil mark on the doorframe, measuring a child's height. It's the scent of your favorite meal drifting from the kitchen. It's the comfortable dip in your side of the bed. Home is where our memories live. It is the anchor of our identity. And so, for so many of us, the ultimate goal, the deepest desire, is aging in place. To stay in that anchor. To live out our days surrounded by the echoes of a life well lived. This is a beautiful, worthy goal. But what they don't always tell you is that aging in place successfully isn't a passive dream. It is an active, courageous plan. It means being honest about what you need to make that home safe. It's not weakness to install a grab bar in the shower. It is the wisdom to prevent a fall. It's not defeat to sign up for a weekly grocery delivery. It is the intelligence to conserve your energy for the things that bring you joy. True aging in place requires an honest conversation. First, with yourself, and then with your loved ones. It's about creating a fortress of safety and support around your independence, right where you are. But sometimes, the most honest conversation reveals a different truth. Sometimes, the home that was once a sanctuary can become a source of anxiety. The stairs become a mountain. The yard becomes a burden. The quiet rooms feel too quiet. In these moments, the bravest and most independent decision a person can make is to redefine what home means for the next chapter of life. This often leads to one of the most feared and misunderstood questions: assisted living versus nursing home. Let's be honest. The words themselves sound clinical. They sound final. Society has painted them as places of surrender. But I want to invite you, right now, to throw that old painting away. And let's create a new one. Think of it not as leaving a home, but as choosing a new kind of freedom. A freedom from the daily burdens of cooking, cleaning, and home maintenance. Imagine, what could you do with that reclaimed time and energy? Read more books, join a painting class, make new friends. Imagine a place where help isn't something you have to humble yourself to ask for, but is simply there, woven into the fabric of your day, as naturally as the air you breathe. Where safety isn't a constant worry, but a given. Where loneliness can be eased by a simple walk down the hall to a shared meal or a game of cards. This is not an ending. It is a supported beginning. The choice is deeply, profoundly personal, and there is no wrong answer. The right answer is the one that brings you and your family the most peace. The right answer is the environment that allows you to live, not just exist. That is a choice of great power and great dignity. Now, let us turn the lens for a moment. Let us speak to the other heart in this story. Because in this profound journey of change, you are not the only traveler. There is someone walking beside you. Your son, your daughter, your spouse, your friend. The one whose heart is so deeply intertwined with yours that your journey has also become their own. The path of caring for aging parents, or for any loved one, is paved with a deep, unconditional love. It is a sacred, noble calling. But what they don't tell you, what is so often hidden from view, is that this path is also one of immense pressure. It is a heavy coat, worn every single day. What no one tells the caregiver is how it feels to hold so much all at once. To be the keeper of appointments, the manager of medications, the chef, the chauffeur, the advocate, and the quiet witness to the slow fading of a person they so deeply love. They hold the worry in their chest when the phone rings late at night. They hold the logistics in their mind, a constant, running checklist of tasks. They hold the unconditional love in their heart, the very fuel for this journey. And underneath it all, they hold a deep, bone-weary exhaustion. This is caregiver burnout, and it is one of the most misunderstood phenomena in family life. It does not come from a lack of love. It comes from an abundance of it. It is the fear of not doing enough, not being enough. It is the guilt that says you should be more patient. It is the sorrow of watching someone you love struggle. It is the loneliness of feeling like you're the only one who can hold it all together. So, if you are the one receiving care, perhaps the greatest gift of wisdom and love you can give in return is the gift of seeing them, truly seeing them, to look them in the eye and say, I see how much you're doing for me, and I am so grateful. To give them permission to be imperfect, to encourage them to rest, to take an afternoon for themselves, to refill their own well. Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you're the caregiver listening to this right now, please hear this. You are not alone in this. And you do not have to be a superhero. It is not sustainable. There are family caregiver resources available. There are support groups, both online and in person, where you can speak with others who truly understand. There is respite care, which offers a lifeline of rest. There are community services that can help. Seeking help is not a sign of failure. It is not a betrayal of your loved one. It is the ultimate act of love. It is a sign of profound strength. It is how you ensure that you can continue to give care from a place of fullness, not from a place of emptiness. It is how you protect the most important thing of all, the loving connection between your heart and theirs. And so, after all the grief, the fear, and the difficult conversations, we arrive at the heart of the matter, the final and most important truth, the greatest piece of timeless elderly wisdom I can possibly share with you today. We have spent our whole lives believing that independence is a measure of what we can do. Climb the ladder at work, raise a family, fix a leaky faucet, drive a car across the country. We were taught that independence means doing everything by ourselves. But that is the definition of our youth. It is a definition based on physical strength and boundless energy. It is not the definition of our wisdom. True independence in our later years is not about what our bodies can do. It is about what our spirit can be. It is a shift from physical doing to spiritual being. It is an independence of the mind and of the soul. What does that look like? It is the freedom to choose your attitude when you wake up in the morning. To decide that today, you will look for the good. You will find a moment of joy in the warmth of the sun or the taste of your morning coffee. This is a power that no one can take from you. It is the power to say yes, to help, not with shame, but with grace. To understand that accepting a hand is not a sign of weakness, but a symbol of our shared humanity. It takes great strength to be vulnerable. It takes great wisdom to allow others the gift of giving. And it is the authority to direct your own care, to make your voice heard, to state your wishes clearly and calmly. You are the expert on your own life, and your voice is the most important one in the room. For too long, we have measured our worth by our productivity, by how much we can carry, by how fast we can move. But your worth is not measured by your ability to climb a flight of stairs. It is measured by the stories you hold inside you, the lessons you've learned from heartache and from joy, the love you have poured into this world, a love that still ripples out in ways you may never even see. Your legacy is not in what you did. It's in who you are. This is your new strength. It is a well that never runs dry. So I urge you share your stories. Write them down in a journal. Tell them to your grandchildren. Record your voice, your memories, your experiences, your unique perspective on this world. They are a treasure beyond price. They are the evidence of a life lived. This is an independence no one can ever diminish. It is the freedom to be authentically, beautifully, and unapologetically you. And that is the most powerful freedom of all. To redefine independence within your own heart is the first crucial step. But what comes next? How do we take this newfound inner strength and build a life with it? A life that is still full of color, purpose, and joy. This is not a time for quiet retreat. It is a time for active creation. It is the art of living, of building your new world, day by day. The first cornerstone of this world is connection. The fear of aging alone is powerful, but it withers in the light of true community. And community is something we must actively seek. It might mean taking a small, brave step, joining a local book club, attending a class at the senior center, saying hello to a neighbor you've only ever nodded to before. It might mean learning a little technology, not to waste time, but to reclaim it, to see the faces of grandchildren who live far away, to reconnect with an old friend from decades ago. Every new connection is a thread of light, pulling you out of the shadows of isolation. The second cornerstone is purpose. The feeling of being a burden evaporates when you know you have something to give, and you have a lifetime of gifts to offer. Your purpose now may not be the one you had at 30 or at 50, and that is more than okay. It is beautiful. Perhaps your purpose is in the garden, coaxing life from the soil. Perhaps it is in mentoring a young person, sharing the wisdom you've earned through your own trials and triumphs. Perhaps it is simply being the keeper of the family stories, the one who remembers. This is not a small role. It is a vital one. It is you, holding the history of your family in your hands. Contribution is the antidote to feeling like a burden. And the final, most joyful cornerstone is play. Somewhere along the road of life, between responsibilities and obligations, many of us forgot how to play. We forgot the simple, pure delight of doing something for no reason at all, other than the joy it brings. Now is the time to remember. What did you love to do as a child? Was it painting, fishing, dancing? Maybe now is the time to pick up that brush again, to learn that new song on the piano you always wanted to play, to join a gentle yoga or Tai Chi class, and feel the simple pleasure of moving your body. Play is not frivolous. It is essential. It is the laughter that reminds us we are alive. It is the curiosity that keeps our mind sharp. It is the spark that keeps our spirit bright. This new world, built on connection, purpose, and play. It is not a lesser world than the one you knew before. It is different. It is a world built not on the strength of your back, but on the wisdom of your heart. And it is waiting for you to build it. The journey of aging and the shifting sands of independence is not an ending. It is a transformation. It asks us to be brave, to be vulnerable, and to be open to a new way of living. It will challenge you, but it will also reveal a depth of resilience within you that is breathtaking. Remember this. Your life is a tapestry woven with threads of every color: joy, sorrow, strength, and struggle. This new chapter doesn't unravel the tapestry. It simply adds a new thread, a thread of wisdom, of grace, of profound, quiet strength. Promise yourself that you will meet this chapter not with fear, but with curiosity. Thank you for spending this time with us at Timeless Elderly Wisdom. If this message resonated with you, please share your own thoughts in the comments below. Your wisdom is a gift to our community. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, please share this video with them. Be sure to subscribe and press the notification bell so you never miss a moment of our journey together. Until next time, be kind to yourself and remember the incredible strength that lies within.